To get to the secret beach in Marius Island, you have to swim through this gnarly cave. You look at it from the outside and you're like, that looks like a lot of space. But once you're in it, it doesn't look like that much space anymore. This cave is jagged rocks everywhere on either side. I was so excited that I didn't hit my head and like go floating off into the ocean. But this cave is glowing. It's like neon underneath you. It's just breathtaking. This place is so much more beautiful than all the videos I've seen, and I am here to make sure we capture the beauty. When they say hidden beach, they meant it. There's nobody here. Oh my God. This is what you live for right here. Moments like this, where you're just you and a hidden beach. I threw my drone in the air at the beach, and the second I went up, I realized, oh my God, this place is so beautiful.
Hey everybody, you are watching Ready, Set, Drone, and today I have the good fortune to have Dani Vierra with me. Dani is the host of two different programs on television about drones. One is called DRONED, and it's all about folks going out and making professional drone videos and their adventures. The other one is called Ultimate Drone Challenge, where she takes everyday drone people like you and me and puts them to the test to win prizes. Hi, Dani.
Hey, how's it going?
Great. Thank you so much for joining us today. Super excited to have you on the program.
Yeah.
Ready, Set, Drone is a YouTube channel dedicated to drones and learning about them, but I've been doing some cool interviews recently, and I'm really glad to have you on the agenda.
Yeah,
so
stoked to be here.
One question for you. Can you give me a brief summary of the shows that you host?
Okay, so the first series that I shot is DRONED, which is on Science Channel. And basically what it does is it follows my company, Pigeon Vision, and we travel the world doing all kinds of various tasks for clients. So sometimes we're taking aerial footage, other time we're doing structural integrity inspections, sometimes we're tracking and counting sharks. So we really just try to show all of the ways that drones can be used because it is such a multifaceted industry.
And so tell me, as far as how you get these gigs, I mean, just curious, is it you guys are just well known because of the television show, or is it because you advertise, or how do you go about getting drone gigs?
It's a little bit of both. The show definitely helped, and the work has really picked up since then. But before that, it was just, we have a team of engineers and stuff. We're not just doing just drone stuff. You know, we do stuff for safety companies, so we do like research and development. We've made things for the fire department that can go do like water rescue. So we kind of just, my job, I'm a pilot and like a field tester, so I don't really hustle too much. That's more Darren's stuff. But yeah, like we've been doing this, I guess, 6 years or something like that now. So
wow. What was the first drone that you flew back 6 years ago? What were you guys flying?
I guess the first thing I flew we actually built. So when I was in school,
nice.
I got into aviation and into like jet racing and stuff, and like working on them. And eventually it kind of turned into like, hey, it would be really cool if I could like fly. And then I was always into RC anyway, and I was like, I'll just build something. It'll be super fun. And it was rickety and bad, but you know, I've gotten a lot better since.
Tell me a little bit about being in television and entertainment, or being someone who is on television and as well as a shooter. How is it that drones are changing the film and television industry, in your thoughts?
Oh my God, it's crazy how much they've changed everything. Like even just in the past 10 years, the amount of footage that we're able to get without just throwing crazy money at it. Like we don't need to, get helicopters and get all these things. Like all we need is a good pilot that can get the shot. And it's even better if we have a pilot that has a really good understanding of actual like the film industry and stuff too, so they can see the shot and kind of follow the director's input. So like using the terminology correctly and understanding it and stuff. But I mean, it's been insane. I mean, it's been absolutely insane how, I mean, I'm sure everyone's seen. We have aerial shots in almost every production now.
What are some things you often hear that might be, misconceptions?
Oh, God. I think probably the one I get the most, and this is from my family, is that we're spying on people.
Right.
My family's always like, there was a drone over my house. Was someone watching me? I was like, no. There's nothing that you could ever do that anyone would care about, first off. Like, and it's over your house, not looking in the window. It's probably a kid, like, who got a phantom or something. But that's the one. That one, or another one I guess I get quite a bit is that, what was it at the beach the other day? Oh, people always ask weird questions about like, have you ever had one just like fly into you? Because the videos of people flying them into themselves, and I'm like, that they don't really just go rogue like that. But
where do you see the drone industry going in the next few years?
The drone industry right now is gonna explode. Like, it's already started to, but I mean, I think this is the tip of the iceberg. And especially, like, obviously with my show, I really wanted to show people all the ways drones can be used and all the positives that they can bring. And I think people are really going to start to catch on to that. Like, major companies are using drones all the time for tasks that were really dangerous for people before. Like, we've seen phone companies using them to inspect like poles instead of sending people up. And my mom works for the phone company, and I know how like many people get injured doing that. So I think this is the beginning of something that's going to kind of almost revolutionize the way that a lot of craft work and technical jobs have happened. And I think we're going to see, and I mean, we're already seeing people getting drone educations. People like John Casey, he's training military pilots now. So, I mean, it's a real thing now. Like, being a drone pilot is an actual, real, legitimate profession, and it's going to just grow from here. That's for sure.
And you can be creative, right? People can be creative on how they want to, like what they can come up with that drones can do, because we haven't thought of everything yet. Everybody just assumes, oh, photography, racing, that's about it, you know. But you're right, many things.
So much bigger than that.
Do you have any good stories about close calls, or anytime you almost crashed a $1,000, $10,000 drone with a red camera on it or something?
Not so much crashing cameras, but I did set up a racing quad way back when I was starting to get into freestyle and stuff, and there's actually footage of this. It's on Droned. It's in the racing episode where I went to Tempe and flew in a drone race. But I had a drone and I hadn't completely set up the flight controller, and I didn't do a very good job on it. Basically is what happened, and it ended up disconnecting from the radio. I mean, it was just like, it was literally, I was having so much trouble with it, and I took it out, and we had to film that day, so I didn't really have time to troubleshoot, and it ended up disconnecting from my radio, and it fell onto a tennis court full of like maybe 50 children.
Oh, geez.
From like,
scary.
It flew up and like went and over and fell, and I was screaming, and I took off after. I was like, drone, like, watch the out, like, get out of the way, like, don't get hit by my drone. I'm sorry if I hit any of the children. And it was sitting there, and nobody got hurt, thank God. And it was like, all broken on the tennis court.
Oh,
but
man.
I was just like, I was sitting there, and I was like, okay. And I was looking at my team, and I was like, guys, we're not shooting this stuff in parks anymore. Like,
yeah.
we're not doing this anymore. We're not filming on windy days in a park. But that was probably like the worst, like, scariest moment for me, because I was like, we had to shoot that day. Like, we had to. And I really was kind of hesitant, and I should have went with my instinct, and I didn't.
Yeah. It's always a good idea to go with your instinct.
Yeah, and I was like, oh my God, we shouldn't have done that. But it was really scary, because I mean, at that point, like, you're risking other people's like safety.
Yeah.
And so after that, we definitely took a step back as a production. We were like, okay, let's not,
And you don't want to be the woman who hit 50 kids with a drone, right? You don't want to be known as that person.
I don't want to be the person that hits anybody with a drone, especially not 50 children.
What's your favorite drone to fly?
My favorite drone to fly right now, just because I've been traveling so much, is my Mavic, probably, or probably one of my Tiny Whoops, because I can take it everywhere. Like, I travel nonstop, and it's something I can literally fly. I fly it in my house, I fly it at the bar, I can fly it at the hotel, I can fly it on set when I've got downtime, pretty much anywhere. So, I mean, that's probably that and my Mavic, because they're super portable.
So tell me a little bit about your FPV racing when you're not scaring children to death with it.
So I don't race a ton. Considering getting back into it, there may be rumors of me showing up at the light track stuff also.
Nice.
So we'll see. We'll see.
Nice.
There may be rumors going around about that, and they are true. But yeah, so the racing is... Racing, I respect racers. They're some of the best pilots I know. Honestly, I would say I'm not on par with where the race industry is, like as far as race pilots. I like to go out. I like to freestyle. I like to do that. I just don't have the discipline to really like get
it takes a lot of practice.
It does.
Muscle memory.
Absolutely.
Just repeating,
Absolutely.
figuring out the trajectories and every turn. And you know, the most fun I have is in my backyard with the tiny whoop, flying under the trampoline and you know, through our garden and just kind of like doing that. But that's not really racing. That's just having fun. You know, trying to do it fast, but.
And to like run a track and to be able to optimize and be able to see it and go like, okay, this is what I need to do. This is how I need to cut seconds. Like that level of discipline is, to me, I respect it so much. They are absolutely 100% athletes, like mentally, they are so in it. And like the FPV race pilots, you guys are amazing. Like I love you guys.
Well, and it's so much harder than it looks. Even just flying in stabilized mode, angle mode with a basic drone, when you put on those goggles for the first time, just like, whoa, it's mind blowing.
Yeah. That's my favorite part though, is just that immersion in the environment when you're just like, it's surreal. And you're getting to play with the world around you. And like you put your headphones on and you're in the goggles, you're strapped in, like you're there. That is where you are. And I love that feeling. That's the rush. That's the rush right there. That's the attraction. I love it.
That said, what advice do you have for drone newbies?
Drone newbies? Depending on your situation, financially, location, otherwise, definitely the sim. But if you can, just get out and fly every day. And if you're flying, you don't have to fly one thing or another. You don't have to be like, I'm going to be a aerial photographer or like, I'm going to be a drone racer. Because it all crosses over at the end of the day. It's all just muscle memory and getting that stick time. And that's why I love the sims. And I don't have like a absolute 100% favorite sim, because I feel like they all do something well. So like, you know, get liftoff, get Velocidrone, get hot props, you know, what's
the one that's on Steam? Does the DRL have one on Steam?
DRL does have one too. Yep.
Okay.
Yep. And then also Liftoff is on Steam.
Cool.
Liftoff is also available. And they've done
Liftoff.
leaps and bounds. So I've had it since forever, back in like the conception, but it's gotten so much better. Like,
and you can play it with like a Tyrannus or like a Tyrannus with a USB cable.
You don't have to go through the trainer port anymore, I don't believe, no.
Oh, cool.
You used to have to use the trainer port and like do all this weird stuff, but you don't have to anymore.
That's awesome. Well, so you said your favorite one is which?
I don't really have a favorite. I feel like they all do something well. If I had to
the one you'd recommend?
I think maybe just Liftoff, because I feel like a lot of people's computers could run it, and it's on Steam. It's, you know, it's right there. It's pretty much like the most accessible, I would say.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Any thoughts on you know, what people should do if they want to see more of your shows? How can we watch your shows?
Well, I do know that Droned is, like I said, through Ovation Network. We are streaming, so you can watch us through their streaming platform.
So how do we do that? I mean, we go to ovationnetwork.com, or what's?
I can get you the links. I can get you the links if you want to put them.
Cool. I'll put them in the description. Yep, that would be awesome.
Yep. So we're available through Ovation on Droned, and then Ultimate Drone Challenge is available through Fusion TV, which is a Univision partner, as you were talking about earlier, seeing Spanish ads.
Right.
But yeah, so those are on the internet. They're out there in the world.
All right, Dani. Well, it's great talking to you.
Yes.
If you haven't already subscribed, please do to Ready, Set, Drone. And if you like this video, please give us a big thumbs up and comment below with questions for myself or Dani or anybody else. We'll see you next time on Ready, Set, Drone. Thanks for watching.
Bye, guys.